off their first homestand of the season. It began with a 3-game set against the Cardinals, and this afternoon we're wrapping up a 4-game series, the I-94 rivalry between the Brewers and the Cubs. It should be a great matchup here in the series finale. A pitching duo between the lefty Jose Quintana, who is 2-1 with a .89 earned run average against Milwaukee, and for the Brewers it will be Chase Anderson. He has had good success against the Cubs. He's gone 3-2 against them with a .379 earned run average. Good afternoon, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park. And the Brewers were hopeful to get Christian Yelich back in the lineup. He has been out since Thursday, since the start of the series with a right oblique injury. But today the Brewers did make a move, placing the Christian Yelich on the disabled list, the 10-day disabled list. Again, that will be retroactive to Thursday. So the earliest he could be activated would be Sunday against the New York Mets. The corresponding move, they have recalled reliever Taylor Williams from AAA Colorado Springs. He was among the last cuts at spring training. So manager Craig Counsell and Christian Yelich weigh in on the status of his oblique injury and what it means here moving forward.
He tried to hit yesterday. He came in feeling good. He tried to hit yesterday. He got through the hitting but at the end he reported some soreness. So we did an MRI. The MRI is clean, so he's obviously got another week on the DL, and we'll just see. So I'm hoping that we're at there's certainly a possibility that it's 10 days. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a setback. We were trying to push it to make it kind of in the time frame to try and stay off the DL, and it just wasn't happening. So take the extra time, get it right, and hopefully be good to go soon.
Yelich optimistic that will be just the minimum stay on the disabled list. Again, possible to be activated Sunday against the Mets. And as we go up to our game announcers, Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder, that outfield depth has been a theme since they acquired Christian Yelich. This will be the first test now and could open up some opportunities for some other players.
Yeah, I think you have to look at it that way, right, Sophia? The Brewers certainly have depth in their outfield. They added to their bullpen as well. It's not just the Yelich to the DL. Remember, Corey Knebel goes on the disabled list earlier in this homestand. So if you're Craig Counsell and you get into the micro and what it means right now for the Brewers as he game plans, what's important to you at this moment?
I think it's important that they put Yelich on a disabled list. First and foremost, you want to make sure he's as close to 100% as he can be going forward, because if he comes back early and hurts that again, it could be a month to 6 weeks. But I think further, you get another reliever, you get 9 relievers in your bullpen until Wednesday when they're going to need another starter. At that point, they're going to make a move. And then you have a little bit of time to wait to determine what you want to do about your bench. I mean, the Brewers don't want to lose anybody on their bench right now. With Yelich on the DL, you don't have to worry about that. But outfield depth, it's only as good as your first injury, right? So Yelich on the disabled list, all of a sudden the depth is not all that great right now because you got the 3 outfielders. They're going to play every day. They also have some pretty good depth down in the minor leagues with Brett Phillips and Keon Broxton. So I think outfield is going to be just fine. I think it's a great move they put Yelich on a disabled list.
Yeah, let him get right. We're early in the season, just entering week 2. Get all the pieces in place. We've had a little magic here at Miller Park. The Brewers are hoping for some more today. Brewers and Cubs, the rivalry continues. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
The atmosphere is incredible. The fans are always on their feet.
The best major league ballpark to play in. The fans are fantastic.
Fans come out every game. There's 20,000 fans on a Tuesday night, and then you get the weekends it's sold out.
Fans are always pretty much in a good mood. They're cheering you on.
The fans come out every day and just give all the support from as soon as they walk in the door until the game is over. And that's what we feed off.
Cold outside, perfect inside. Miller Park, the last game of the first homestand of the year here at Miller Park. It's a sellout. They're here to see the Brewers and the Cubs. Lineups, first pitch coming up. Side, perfect inside, and Chase Anderson ready to go to work against Jose Quintana. Joe Madden and the Cubs. Potawatomi batting order looks like this with Almora, Bryant, and Zobrist. Contreras, Schwarber, and Russell in the middle. Caratini, Hayward, and Quintana rounding out the starting nine for the mad scientist. All the pieces in place, and the final game of this series is underway. First ball swinging Almora, and Arcia will put him away. One pitch and one out.
Well, Chase Anderson making his third start of the season. Got roughed up a little bit last time out against the Cardinals. 4 runs, 4 innings for Chase. Had difficulty with fastball command, making start number 8 against the Cubs. Currently 3-2 and a 379 earned run average against the Chicago Cubs.
Brewers trying to earn a split in this 4-game series. They'll need a win today to do it. Very disappointing loss yesterday for the Brewers, having a late lead and then giving it back. Shoddy defense for the Brewers in the 9th inning yesterday, and the Cubs picked up the win. They scored 4 runs in the 9th and won the game 5-2, taking 2 of the first 3. Chris Bryant was 3 for 3 with 2 walks yesterday. On base percentage for the season, as the Cubs are 8 games into the season, is at .500 for Chris Bryant, and he's the only Cub to start in every game. Hits a towering fly ball, gets under it, and Lorenzo Cain is there for out number 2.
Let's check out the defense for the Brewers here on a Sunday afternoon. Braun, Kane, Santana in the outfield. Pretty much going to see that for a while with Yelich placed on a disabled list today. Perez at third. Shaw gets the day off. Arcia VR up the middle. Jesus Aguilar at first base with the left-hander Quintana on the mound, and Manny Pena back behind home plate.
Brewers do not have a left-handed hitter in their starting lineup today, matching up against Jose Quintana with Perez and Aguilar on the corners today. There's a strike to Ben Zobrist. Out of the starting lineup yesterday. He did play in the game late. And Zobrist batting third. Cubs are without Anthony Rizzo for a third consecutive game. Lower back tightness. Rizzo has stated that his back is improving. He is hoping to play tomorrow for the Cubs home opener. As Zobrist with the shift on. Right there is Arcia, and that'll do it. Good start for Chase Anderson. Cubs go in order, 1, 2, 3. Now the Brew Crew coming to bat against Quintana. Sunday afternoon, the Cubs go in order in the top of the first. Now Craig Counsell and the Brewers ready to go on the home half. Counsell year number 4. This is his third full season. And the Brewers with a winning record last year, finishing second in the division. They are hopeful this is a playoff year in 2018. Potawatomi batting order for Counsell has Lorenzo Cain leading off, Domingo Santana, then Ryan Braun. That's your outfield. And then the middle of the order is Aguilar, Perez, and Pena. VR, the switch hitter, Arcia, and Chase Anderson rounding out the starting 9 on the Potawatomi batting order. And a lineup that will match up against Jose Quintana.
Yeah, didn't have very good stuff his first time out against the Marlins. 6 innings, 6 runs, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. This is his 7th year in the big leagues, second with the Cubs. He was a trading deadline acquisition by the Cubs from the White Sox.
That was a big pickup for the Cubs last season. Lorenzo Cain, who has faced Jose Quintana more than anybody in the big leagues, leads off. A lot of confrontations in the American League Central with Cain as a Royal and Quintana as a White Sox. No balls and a strike, and Cain shoots one to right. That bat starting to heat up again. Lorenzo had a sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 8th inning yesterday. For a moment looked like it was going to be a game winner until the Cubs rally in the 9th.
Yeah, couldn't hold it in the 9th inning, but Cain's starting to shoot the ball to right field again. Last 2 times up. It's always a good sign for him. Well, let's check out the Cubs defense. You got Schwarber, Almora, and Hayward in the outfield. You got Chris Bryant, Addison Russell, Ben Zobrist up the middle. You got Caratini at first, no Anthony Rizzo, and with a 4th consecutive game, Wilson Contreras behind home plate.
Caratini is the backup catcher, but with Rizzo out, he makes his 3rd consecutive start at first. Domingo Santana elevated to the 2 spot in the batting order. Brewers making a player move today if you're just picking us up. Putting Yelich on the disabled list with the oblique injury and adding to their bullpen. So the Brewers will have 9 relievers in the game today. Taylor Williams arriving from AAA. J.J. Hoover came here yesterday and got into the game yesterday.
And a lot of guys out there, and it's going to be that way until Wednesday when the Brewers need another starter.
Crowded bullpen. Good to see Taylor Williams back in the big leagues. He is a great young talent, fun to watch. 3 straight days the Brewers have added a reliever. So it was Adrian Hauser first, and then Hoover, and then Williams. We saw a lot of Williams this spring, Rock. He opened some eyes.
Yeah, he almost made the ball club. I mean, he was one of the final cuts, if not the final cut, amongst the pitchers. Brewers had him going back-to-back days on an occasion, making sure that he was going to be all right. Yeah, electric stuff. We saw him last year.
Domingo Santana 0-2. Quintana has excellent command, and if you watch his last start, even though he gave up 6 earned runs in 6 innings, that is certainly qualified as a poor outing. He was actually pretty good for 4 of those 6 innings, and then kind of lost control of the wheel at the end of his start last time around.
He's got an excellent curveball. He'll turn the fastball over like he just did a couple of times to Santana. He likes to pitch inside as well.
Had a good spring, did Quintana. Made 5 starts in the Cactus League. Had an ERA under 3, which is actually impressive, even more impressive in Arizona in the Cactus League, when the ball flies, and pitchers normally struggle in the Cactus League with breaking balls and whatnot. Runner goes. Kane, he stops. Now a throw to first, and they got, oh, he's back.
Missed him.
Somehow got a hand in there. Santana strikes out. That could have been a double play.
Yeah, he took off and realized that he didn't have a very good jump. Contreras' pickoff throw beats Kane, but apparently Caratini missed him on the tag. There's that curveball we're talking about. It's a good one.
Cubs are pretty confident that the out was recorded at first.
He thought better of it. Didn't get a good jump. Does he get him? Does he get him in the head? Knocks his helmet off, but was the hand in there?
An early challenge for Joe Madden. He wants the umpires to have a look at this. Fieldon Cobrith is the crew chief. And the man with his back to us is Brian Onora. He made the call.
You better be pretty sure if you're going to use a challenge right now. First inning of the game, second hitter.
I don't know if that's a good or bad sign that Lorenzo Cain is sitting down on the bench.
I think he got him in the head on the helmet before his hand was on the bag. This might get overturned.
Now, at the replay center in New York, they have the ability to stitch a couple of these calls together. Yeah, I think they got him.
Yeah, he got him.
This is probably going to go against the Brewers, and
Kane thinks he's out.
And there's the call, and it is overturned. So it's a strike him out, throw him out, albeit a pickoff at first base. Putout goes 2-3. Ends up as 2 outs with 1 pitch. So that wipes out the leadoff single. Wilson Contreras tied with Manny Pena last year for the most pickoffs on the bases in the major leagues last season. They each had 6 apiece. Contreras gets another one. 1:16 to determine that overturned call. Here is Braun. Ryan trying to get it going at the plate. He's had a couple of memorable moments already this year. 2 of his 5 hits have been game-winning homers. But Braun is off to a generally slow start at the plate and chasing a lot more than we are accustomed to seeing Ryan Braun.
You don't see Ryan Chase, breaking pitches in the dirt all that often, and when he does, he's just not seeing the baseball. One of the things that's so good and consistent about Braun is the way he waits back and drives the ball to right field.
Put a fastball right by him. Braun is 2 for 11 in the series. This is game 4 of this series with the Cubs. And Ryan is just 4 for 20 on the homestand. One of those 4 hits, a walk-off home run against St. Louis on Tuesday. Quintana strikes him out. Braun chased another one. And the inning is over. Promising start with a single. Quintana faces 3, and we're headed to the second.
Time out against the Cardinals, much better in the first inning. Chris Bryant has done a lot of damage in this series, particularly in yesterday's game, and the Brewers need to tighten up the defense, not giving any extra outs and extra bases today.
Now the Brewers have scuffled defensively on this homestand, played very well in San Diego. Anderson, a 7-pitch first inning, retired the side in order, facing Wilson Contreras to start the second. Coming into play today, the Brewers with 13 errors. This is game number 10 on the schedule. It is expected that the Brewers are going to be a much improved defensive team. Losing Yelich certainly hurts in that regard. He's been a Gold Glover in the past. But I like your point, Rocky, made in the pregame show. I think yesterday was symbolic of a young team carrying some burden of expectation in a hot series with a lot on the line. I mean, it's early April, but there was great intensity in the game yesterday and all series long here, even against the Cardinals in the first 3 days of this homestand. And I think you've got a lot of guys who are maybe trying to do a little too much at this point.
Yeah, get amped up, and that's never good. I mean, it's never good when you're pitching or at the plate playing defense. A lot of times when you're too charged up, it's not like a football game where that is a benefit to you. You got to relax in this game and kind of hold that kind of enthusiasm back a little bit.
Contreras hits it hard into right center. That's down. That's going to go to the wall. Contreras on his way to second. And it is a leadoff double here in the second inning.
Boy, he hits the ball hard, doesn't he? Contreras has got that big swing. Aggressive up there at the plate. And he rips that one into the gap out there. You can see Pena setting up inside, and Anderson missed his spot by the entire width. And Contreras hits a rocket out there in the right center. fastball location. Just got done talking about it.
First hit of the game for Chicago. And a ringing double into right center. Sets up Kyle Schwarber here in the second inning. Schwarber has been hitting third with Rizzo out. Dropped in the lineup to fifth here today. And just to finish up the thought on the errors, and I know Sophia has a little more to add on this, but you think about the two guys who committed the errors in the ninth inning, Arcia and Shaw. Those are two of your better defenders. Shaw only made 9 errors all season last season. And Arcia is one of those guys who is an elite defensive player. Maybe just tried to do something that wasn't really available in that situation.
Yeah, just shouldn't have thrown the baseball. That's what we're talking about. Just trying to make something out of nothing. And in Shaw's defense, that was a rocket down to third base. It took a nasty hop. Not making any excuses, but still, you got to make those plays if you want to win games.
Well, Sophia, it's been a big topic of conversation for the Brewers over the last couple of days. What do you have?
Well, this morning, the word that Craig Counsell used to describe the defense and what really concerns him is the carelessness. And he said that's what we really need to tighten up. You know, he mentioned that play that Arcia made. He said on that one, there wasn't an out there. And so that's a ball that either you don't throw or it needs to be blocked in front of you. And he said really the carelessness has affected in terms of them losing bases. And he says they haven't necessarily lost out, but they've lost bases. And he said obviously the outs are more damaging, but those bases can still lead to other situations in terms of you lose a double play, you now have a runner on third. And so he said it's those mistakes that they need to clean up. And he said it's the carelessness with how they're playing that concerns him the most.
And it creates a lot of extra pitches, a lot of opportunities for the offense, and that has an effect on your pitching staff.
Schwarber sends one high in the air, foul territory. Pena makes the play for out number 1. Good off-speed pitch by Chase Anderson had Schwarber out in front.
And what Craig Counsell was talking about with blocking the ball, you're talking about Thames on that play in the ninth inning where Arcia threw it on a short hop. There wasn't an out there, so you come off the bag and just get in front of it and make sure that that baseball does not go into foul territory.
So the hope is it's a bit of an anomaly with this team and how they have played defensively on this homestand, and a team that hopefully will play much better and start to settle in a little bit. But you got a great idea watching the Cubs and how they performed late in that game, having been through the ringers of big games and postseasons the last 3 years. They put the ball in play in the ninth inning. They got to 2 strikes. They made it happen. And I think Craig Counsell senses that with the Cubs. So you're looking at a team who's been there, and they're hoping the Brewers can get to that level.
And who says strikeouts don't matter, right? When you put the ball in play. I mean, I think Barnes broke about 3 bats in that inning. They put it in play. They put it in spots where it was made it difficult on the defense, but still putting the baseball in play when they had to. That's why they won.
Yeah, Barnes was actually pretty good yesterday as far as stuff goes. I mean, he pitched well enough to close the game. Took a blown save with the defensive lapses. He's a good option for Counsell. That's foul down the third base line. Addison Russell. This is how it all unfolded yesterday. That's a shattered bat, and Arcia cutting in front of Shaw, the throw that shouldn't have been made. And then the ground ball that could have turned into a double play. And then Thames just a little overzealous, ranging over. Barnes missed the bad covering, so it just kind of all unraveled in one moment in time yesterday for the Brewers.
Yeah, just about everybody on the infield contributed to that inning.
Good news is you have a ball game today to play, and in baseball you have short memories. You wipe that clean.
How many times did everybody replay that inning in their head last night? I know I did. Those are the games that you lose that really stick with you. You know, those 8-0 losses, I mean, you get over those. I mean, you got your you got beat badly, and you go get them the next day. But those games that you essentially give away, those are the ones that stick with you.
Runner at second. Addison Russell at the plate in a 1-2 count. Just missed with a fastball. Anderson's velocity is back where we saw it last year. That's a good sign early. The fact he's throwing 93, 94 miles an hour. He had a tough time with the fastball in his last start. He was sitting around 90-91 last time around against the Cardinals.
You don't get concerned until you see that velocity down for maybe 2 or 3 starts. And one time, second start, maybe a bit of a dead arm, but man, it's back today.
He's got Russell in a 2-2 count. Lead off double by Contreras. He's still at second, and Anderson misses. Chase had good success against Addison Russell last year. It was a tough at bat for Russell. Had just 1 hit off Anderson. He struck out 4 times in 9 at bats in his season log last year against this pitcher. 3-2 in the air to left. A lazy fly ball. Braun is there. And there is out number 2. Contreras tags but stops. And still stands at second base. Now 2 men are out.
Yep, off speed pitch by Anderson, and Russell out in front, out on the front foot. You got it on the barrel. It's a changeup, and you see Russell, really no power when you're out on your front foot like that, and an easy out.
So 2 men are gone. Anderson will face Victor Caratini. He has proven himself to be a tough at bat. Getting extended playing time here with Rizzo out. Caratini was part of that madness in the 9th inning yesterday for the Cubs. Not a guy that strikes out a lot. He sees a ton of pitches as well. High on base percentage in the minor leagues. Had an OPS over 900 last year in AAA. Caratini only 24 years of age. He'll turn 25 late in the summer in August. And Joe Madden has a couple of pretty versatile pieces as catchers in Caratini and Contreras.
Yeah, they both can play a few different places.
Contreras at second, a leadoff double. Anderson deals it, and a fly ball shallow center. Arcia is there. Inning is over. Soft contact after that leadoff line drive by Contreras.
Fans in attendance for the Cruz contest against the Marlins will take home an Eric Thames bobblehead courtesy of Toyota. The first bobblehead day of the year.
And the Eric Thames bobblehead starts it all off.
A perfect likeness, the bobblehead, down to the tattoos and everything on the arm. Well done, bobblehead people, whoever that would be. Evolving branded merchandise is what it says on the bottom.
Yeah.
Jesus Aguilar leading off for the Brewers in the second. Jose Quintana giving up a leadoff single. That one's on the ground to Russell. And there is out number one. Aguilar grounds out 6-3. And one away. Cubs are headed back home. They start a road trip. Actually, start a homestand, I should say. Brewers start a road trip tomorrow to St. Louis. Cubs haven't had a game at Wrigley Field yet.
It's a long road trip to start the year.
Now the Cubs started in Miami, then Cincinnati, and then here to Milwaukee. They only played one game in Cincinnati, though. Got rained out. So the Cubs are 4-4 to start the season.
Be a shock to the system outside in Chicago next week. Of course, the weather's not supposed to be that great in St. Louis either.
Brewers will play 3 in St. Louis. Day game on Wednesday, the finale of the series, and then the Brewers will go to New York. And a series against the Mets. No balls, 2 strikes on Perez. Hernan getting himself in the starting lineup today at third base. First time he's played third as a starter. Got an inning there the other day after the Travis Shaw ejection. Does have a couple of starts at second base. He's also pitched. Boy, that was a shot right off Contreras. Says he's all right.
Gotta love it, catching.
Home plate umpire Fielding Colbreth certainly popped up quickly.
A wake-up call on a Sunday morning.
Wow, right on the knee.
Yeah.
Yikes. One and two the count. Wanted something upstairs. He got it. Perez didn't bite. The Brewers' Swiss Army knife, Hernan Perez. Can do a lot with him. Play a lot of positions. Takes a curveball to the right side for Zobrist. 2 ground ball outs for Quintana.
Yep, off to a slow start with the bat, but anywhere he plays, he's going to give you the same kind of offensive production. He'll get it going.
Well, one of the signature moments for Quintana as a Cub came right here at Miller Park last season. That was September 24th. He went the distance in the final game of the series. Did not allow a run, an earned run in that game. He struck out 10. The Brewers were in serious discussions with the White Sox to perhaps acquire Jose Quintana, but the Cubs won out. And that was a big pickup for Chicago last year. Helped them win the division, helped them win a first-round series against the Nationals. Manny Pena, a little lazy fly ball, shallow right field. Zobrist makes a nice catch. Over the shoulder catch from Ben Zobrist. And a 1-2-3 inning for Quintana. 2 in the books, no score at Miller Park. Nice play by Zobrist. really turned himself into something special, Rock.
Yeah, he did a nice job. Ever since the second half of 2016, he's been on fire. 5-1, last 12 starts in 2016, and last year, outstanding. 5th in the National League, 25 starts and a .274 earned run average, and got himself a nice 2-year contract, and was the opening day starter in San Diego for Milwaukee.
His first opening day honor. And Chase Anderson pitched well against the Padres, went 6 shutout innings in his first start as he faces Jason Hayward to start the 3rd inning. Well, you got to give a lot of credit to the pitcher himself for his evolution into this elite status, as Hayward skies one, had him out in front. Arcia wants it, and he's got it for the out. But I think Chase is the first to tell you he gives a lot of credit to Derek Johnson as well. Those two work very well together, and Derek Johnson, the Brewers pitching coach, had some specific ideas on how Chase Anderson could take his game to that next level. Everything he's offered, Chase has executed perfectly.
And he's been able to mix all of his pitches extremely well. He's one of those guys, and we talked about that, you know, being unpredictable out there in the mound. We talked about that with Yu Darvish in yesterday's game, but Anderson's one of those guys. He'll throw any pitch in any count. 3-2 curveballs, changeups, and that really keeps a hitter off balance.
Jose Quintana, the Cubs pitcher, at the plate. What would you say if you had to put your arms around one piece to the puzzle for Chase Anderson? What has turned him into this kind of pitcher?
Fastball location, and the fact that he's not afraid to come inside. It sets up all of his off-speed stuff. If a hitter thinks you're going to throw inside, I mean, the curveball, the changeup become very effective. You can talk all you want about all the fancy, the split-fingered fastballs and curveballs and changeups, but if you don't have good location with the fastball, you don't have much.
Anderson lacked a little bit of that confidence with the fastball as a member of the Diamondbacks, and he was pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher with Arizona. Fastball, changeup, and it was all about trickery when he came up. You know, a young pitcher coming up from the minor leagues. A lot of guys go through this, but there is that threshold that those who do have long careers, you have to get over that point that these are major league hitters and my stuff's not quite good enough and I've got to stay away from them.
Yeah.
That is actually counterproductive, because then you start to get into a lot of hitter counts, and that's when the damage is done.
He doesn't walk many either. I mean, he throws strikes. He trusts his stuff like you talk about. And if you recall, last spring training, he was told before it started that he had to make the starting rotation and the pitching staff. He did that and more.
Yeah, he went from a question mark, despite his good finish in 2016, was still competing for a job leading into 17, and went from that position to an early call as the opening day starter this spring training. Brewers need him. He and Jimmy Nelson fronting this pitching staff. Nelson still coming back from shoulder surgery, hoping to get Jimmy back June, July range. They're not exactly ready to put a return date on that yet. Nelson has yet to start throwing off a mound. But all accounts are that Jimmy Nelson is healing quickly.
Brewers' biggest challenge with Jimmy Nelson is going to be having to back him down a little bit. He's going to be trying to do a little bit too much too early.
Well, that didn't miss by much. Half the infield was running off thinking that was going to be a called strike 3. Instead, it's 3-2 on Almora. Almora grounded out on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. Madden has used Almora, Zobrist, and Happ as his leadoff hitters in this series. Those are the 3 that have been handling the leadoff duties. Joe Madden hoping one of these guys will settle in that role. Anderson goes through the Cubs order the first time. 1 for 9. Only hit was a double by Contreras. Second time through, and Almora takes ball 4. First walk allowed by Anderson.
Yeah, double whammy there. You get a man on, you have to face Chris Bryant with a man on. And can't pitch around him, really. Boy, Chris Bryant has done a lot of damage in this series. He's had good numbers against Chase Anderson.
Bryant hit a towering fly ball for an out in the first inning. Off to a great start. A couple of homers, 6 RBIs in the first 8 games played. And a little soft liner out to third. Perez is there. That will retire the side. Anderson had him out in front. Good start for Chase. 3 shutout. Brewers coming up in the home third.
AT&T Park. The Giants were down 1 with 2 on in the bottom of the 14th. Andrew McCutchen would walk it off, a 3-run home run. The Giants would win it 7-5, and this was an epic at-bat for McCutchen, a 12-pitch battle with Wilmer Font. He fouled off 7 pitches in that at-bat. And BA and Rock, consider this. He had just 2 hits on the season going into last night. He finished with a 6-hit game, something he never did in 7 seasons with the Pirates, did in his first week with the Giants.
Got to make them count, and it certainly did. That'll be a great memory and a good way to establish yourself with a new ball club. Andrew McCutchen, the former Pirate.
Now all of a sudden he's off to a good start, right? When you look at the numbers.
Well, that McCutchen, he's really swinging the bat well.
Right.
Jonathan Villar leads off for the Brewers, the switch hitter against Jose Quintana.
I always wonder what a guy like McCutchen would do at Miller Park. I mean, he played in Pittsburgh, a very good pitcher's ballpark, and now San Francisco.
A former MVP, McCutchen. He and Evan Longoria, 2 big adds for the Giants. Off to a 4-3 start. Pirates are off to a great start. They've won 6 of their first 8. Did lose yesterday. You got the Mets at 6-1, Pirates at 6-2, and the Diamondbacks at 6-2 in the National League West.
Diamondbacks going to be pretty good this year.
That entire division, the West, it looks strong. Arizona, Colorado, the Dodgers are the favorites in that division to win yet another division title. They won 5 in a row there in Los Angeles, but they're 2-6 to begin the year. They've lost 4 in a row, the Dodgers. The team off to the best start is in the American League East, the Boston Red Sox. They've won 7 straight games, lost their opener, and have won 7 in a row to go 7-1. Our old pal Ron Renicky, part of that Red Sox team.
Right.
He is the bench coach now for new manager Alex Cora, the former Brewers manager, responsible for that 2011 National League Central Division championship. Full count. Quintana to VR. Fly ball right field, hit pretty well. Hayward on the run, and Hayward misplays it. That is down for a double for Jonathan VR. Very uncharacteristic of Jason Hayward.
He has 2 times in this series where you thought he might be able to get to one. It happened yesterday in the Brewers' 8th inning. I'm surprised VR is not third base, though. I think he looked like he was watching that baseball as it was getting down into the corner. And with VR's speed, you would have thought he'd been able to get into third. Goes right with it. Jonathan's off to a decent start at the plate. And Hayward just flat misjudged this one. He got to the wrong spot, didn't even get a glove on it.
Wow.
And then VR watching it. If he's running hard, he's at third base.
That's a good point. You're expecting Hayward to either catch it or it's going to go out in that scenario with that kind of height under it. Hayward wasn't even close. He misplayed one yesterday deep into right center field. And a multiple winner of the Gold Glove Award is having his troubles here at Miller Park. So here is Arcia now, and the Brewers a chance to strike first with a runner in scoring position. Arcia had a game winner. He's had 2 game winners this year, but had a walk-off hit against the Cubs here in Game 2 Friday. On the ground to Russell. One shortstop takes care of the other, and VR has to stay put at second base. And now the pitcher coming up, Chase Anderson. Anderson does have a hit this year. He'd love to help his cause right now. Try to drive in a run. Anderson at the plate in his career is just under the interstate line. He is hitting .099 for a career. One for 3 this year. Struck out a couple of times.
Had a base hit in San Diego, scored a run. Remember that slide at home plate? I think that slide at home plate had a bit of a residual effect on him in his last start. Little soreness on his left side.
Chase had an awkward slide, went down hard, kind of face first. He was in between whether to go through home plate standing or to slide, and did not look good. Fortunate he didn't suffer a major injury. Actually hit his face on the ground, and it tweaked him. He said it was like a car crash. And I think the soreness lingered a little bit. You're right. I think some of the Brewers were, at least the Brewers medical staff, feeling like there was some lingering effects of that awkward slide at home plate in his last start against the Cardinals, which was a short start for Chase. Lasted just 4 innings. 2-1. 2-2 now. Jonathan VR, a leadoff double on a misplay by Hayward. 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. And VR breaking toward third. Might not be a bad idea to try to steal one here. VR led the National League in stolen bases 2 years ago, and he stole third base often.
You better make it. You got Kane on deck.
Fastball missed.
Already in scoring position. If you take off, you better make it, which is a No short thing with Contreras back there.
Kane had a base hit in the first. Russell trying to keep VR close. Anderson takes a call at strike 3. Went right back to the heat and picks up strikeout number 3. Quintana.
You can see him setting up inside and able to catch that inside corner. 92, a little movement on it. Well located.
Back to the top of the order now. Here is Lorenzo Cain. And the Brewers needing a 2-out hit. Cain got off to a great start and then couldn't buy a hit, went 0 for 16 at one point. Now starting to pull out of it. Yesterday Cain was 0 for 3, did drive in a run with that sacrifice fly. He has appeared in all 10 games for the Brewers. All starts in center field. After a big year last year with the Kansas City Royals and a healthy year last year with the Royals, maybe most importantly for Cain. Popped him up. Sliding into foul territory is Caratini, and he's got it to end the inning. Brewers get a leadoff double and cannot score him. Still scoreless through 3. We're headed to the 4th. To please play responsibly. And by Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. Cubs and Brewers, final game of the series. Don't forget, you can catch Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock weekdays 4 p.m. Central. It's only on FS1. Chase Anderson back to work as we go to the 4th. It'll be Zobrist, Contreras, and Schwarber. Cubs have 1 hit. That was a double by Contreras in the 2nd inning. Anderson has issued a walk, has a strikeout thus far. And both pitchers are rolling along well to start this game. 3 shutout innings apiece for Anderson and Quintana. Cubs have taken the 2 of the first 3 in this series. Zobrist sends one deep to right. That is hooking. It is a fair ball home run. And the Cubs are on the board first. First home run of the year for Ben Zobrist.
There's always been a tough out. He was a tough out yesterday in the 9th inning. Anderson trying to sneak a fastball in on his hands, and Zobrist waiting for it. Pops those hips open and gets the barrel on it, and just does tuck it inside that right field line.
Boy, was it Rock? That looked like it might have crossed in front of the foul pole. Oh, it hit the pole. I beg your pardon.
Yep, hit the foul pole, and
that was a better look.
That counts.
I did not see that hit the foul pole on the live look, but clearly glanced off of it. So a home run for Zobrist. And here is Contreras. Anderson actually had a improvement on the home run ball last year. He cut his home runs in half from the year before. As he comes inside, he hits Contreras.
I remember the double that Contreras hit was on a fastball away, so Anderson and Manny Pena trying to crowd him. That one got away from him. Don't want to get those arms extended, and he misses a little bit too far. Got him right on the hand. Always dangerous.
Contreras declining any medical attention. Man on for Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber turns on one. Extreme pullage.
It's like one of those Rob Deere foul balls back in Old County Stadium.
You're not expecting a souvenir in that seat. I mean, that's above the first base dugout in the terrace level.
You can't get out in front any more than that.
My gosh.
Deere used to hit him out of the stadium like that. Of course, you can't do that here.
Runner takes off. Pena's throw to second. The tag, and he got him. What a throw by Pena. First he picks it, throws behind the runner to get him, behind the batter I should say.
And flat-footed.
Man, that was something.
I mean, what an arm he's got. I mean, flat-footed, he's able to throw a strike to second base with something on it. Well, you're seeing two of the best throwing catchers in all of baseball today.
I don't know. Madden has already used his challenge, has he not?
Well, he won it.
That's correct. He's got another one. Good memory, Rock. That was so long ago, I forgot. He won't challenge this time. Good tag by Arcia. And after a quick look in the Cubs video room, they decide not to challenge. Caught stealing. And now Schwarber right off the end of the bat. Pena grabs it, throws him out. That ball was going to spin foul. Pena all over it, putting on a catching clinic here in the last couple of moments.
Yeah, that's just a good pitch. After a guy hits one foul over the Brewers dugout in the upper deck, that means he's getting the bat head out early on the fastball. You change up on him, and he gets him right off the end of the bat. It's just good pitching, good sequence. Change up 83 miles an hour, and Manny Pena able to get the out.
Put that in the catching handbook right there. Couple of really good plays by Manny Pena. Another beat, that ball is going to spin foul, and Schwarber gets another swing.
Got to be quick. Get out of that crouch, bust it out there, and it'd be a nice throwing contest between these two catchers.
By the way, they changed that call from a caught stealing to just a put out at second base. 2-6. It's the right call. Contreras didn't take off until the pitch was in the dirt, so you don't get credit for the caught stealing, but still get the out. Two gone, bases empty. 2 balls and a strike on Russell. In the air, right center. That's hit well. Back on it is Santana. He's got room to make the play. Inning over. Cubs get one on the board, though. Ben Zobrist with a leadoff homer. And now the Brewers play from behind.
Your tickets today at Brewers.com.
Domingo Santana leads off for the Brewers as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Santana, Braun, and Aguilar coming up against Jose Quintana. 1-0 Cubs on a Ben Zobrist home run. Launched one off the foul pole down the right field line. Santana hits it sharply right at Russell. And Quintana getting his ground ball out. That's another one. Another 6-3 put out for out number 1.
He's only allowed 2 fly ball outs, 2 pop-ups in the infield.
Ryan Braun with one away. Braun is on the Powerball home run leaderboard. Thames has 3 on this homestand. Braun's 2 are game winners. Kane, Pena, and Yelich all homering on this homestand as well. And if you're just picking us up this afternoon, Christian Yelich placed on the disabled list before the game today. Braun in the hole. Russell from his knees stands up. Throw is wide. Caratini got the tag on him.
Yeah.
Good play.
No argument from Ryan Braun. That's a long throw for Addison Russell, not blessed with the greatest throwing arm, but he compensates with a very quick release. Look how quickly he gets rid of it, and Caratini getting off the bag and got a piece of him as he went by. That's a nice play on both sides. Got him on the leg.
And another 6-3 put out. 2 quick outs for Jose Quintana. That brings up Aguilar now. Aguilar trying to take a little extra time here, if nothing else, to give Chase Anderson a bit of a breather as best he can. Quintana likes to work quickly, and Aguilar hoping to extend this 4th inning. Hernan Perez would be next. That misses inside, 2-0. With Yelich on the disabled list, it does clear the path for Aguilar. So he and Thames now essentially become the first base platoon. Remember, against left-handed starters when the season began, Ryan Braun was the first baseman, which left Aguilar without opportunities to start many games. He's done a great job off the bench already.
Yeah, I mean, drawing walks, getting base hits. Had a 3-hit game against the Cardinals.
3 balls and a strike on Aguilar. Coming inside, and it's ball 4. That's the kind of at bat you're looking for. 2 quick outs. Aguilar took his time getting in the box and then draws the walk to extend the inning.
That first walk allowed by Quintana today. He had 4 against the Marlins. Didn't have very good control in that game. 4 walks, 2 punch outs for Quintana.
Hernan Perez with 2 away. Perez bounced to second base his first time up. Quintana got him on a curveball. Had him out in front. Perez came in to pitch the final out of the game on Thursday following the Corey Knebel injury. Knebel with a moderate strain of the hamstring was the official diagnosis. There were 2 outs in the 9th inning of that game, so instead of using another relief pitcher, there was nobody warming up either. Counsel decided to bring Perez on. He threw 1 pitch and he got the last out. And the Brewers didn't have to get another reliever into the game. That's going to skip away from Contreras. Aguilar on his way to second. A wild pitch. And the Brewers suddenly with 2 outs have a man in scoring position.
Curveball down in the dirt with 2 strikes. Those are ones you got to block. Not very good technique by Quintana. Or I should say Contreras. Got to get down, try and block it. He tried to backhand it.
Let's see if Perez can cash it in now. 2-2 the count. Another curve. Much better form by Contreras this time.
Man, pitcher has to have confidence enough in his catcher to be able to bounce those curveballs with 2 strikes.
Three and 2. Big lead by Aguilar at second, and he got him. He went back to that hook. Perez is down on strikes, and the inning is over. 1-0 Cubs. 4 in the books at Miller Park.
Series finale between the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals, and there's already been some drama this afternoon. You see A.J. Pollock there arguing a called third strike with home plate umpire Tim Timmons. David Peralta weighing in as well. Well, manager Torey Lovullo would come out to defend him, and Yadi Molina took exception to something that was said by Torey Lovullo. So you see that the bench is clear, the dugout's clear, everyone getting involved here. Torey Lovullo again was ejected. Yadi Molina would stay in the game, so something to keep an eye on as the Brewers head to St. Louis tomorrow.
Oh, we got a lot of spice early in the season. We can decipher exactly what was said right there. You knew it had something to do with, just because this guy's behind the plate, you give him these calls. I mean, Yadi Molina carries a lot of weight with these umpires.
Well, I've seen him come unglued here at Miller Park a few years ago too. Got thrown out and suspended. I'm amazed that Molina didn't get thrown out. He was pushing the umpire. Right. I mean, he was pushing him out of the way. You can't do that.
Wow.
Wow.
That will be something they will take a look at for sure.
I mean, he's pushing the home plate umpire out of the way. That's at least an ejection, if not a suspension. You can't do that to an ump.
Victor Caratini leads off for the Cubs. 5th inning from Miller Park. Brewers are going to see the Cardinals mañana. 3-game series with St. Louis starting tomorrow night. Arizona's got a great team this year. Cardinals hope they are a contending team this season.
Molina's a heck of a player, man, but he's got a short fuse. He really does. We've seen it on a number of occasions.
When he senses disrespect, and something Torey Lovullo said, and you know it has to do with pitch framing and getting borderline calls. It's something along those lines.
It actually wasn't that bad a pitch.
No, you're right.
I mean,
pretty good pitch.
It was.
I like it. Not that we're endorsing brawls, but I like the passion early in the season.
Well, if you don't get them with the managers and the umpires every now and again, you know, you get the players involved.
Nobody argues anymore with replay.
Gentler, kinder baseball. Well, we did see Ron Gardenhire kick dirt on the home plate. That was in Detroit, I believe it was.
I still have Gardenhire as my first real candidate to put the headset on and argue with a replay umpire. I think he'd be the guy to do it.
That's what he was mad about, that called home plate.
I know it. Absolutely. There's a called strike 3. Chase Anderson threads the needle, strikes out Caratini to start this 5th inning.
Well, we talked about fastball location today for Chase Anderson, and it has been very good. Check that out. 92 right on the corner, down on his knees. And punches his ticket.
2nd strikeout for Chase Anderson. Facing Jason Hayward now.
Punches ticket. That's your line. I'm sorry I took it.
No, that's available. That's nothing original. It's all up for grabs. There's only one thing you really can't say around here, and that is posted up there above the slide in left field.
Yeah, get up, get out of here.
Stay away from that one and you're fine. That would be Bob Uecker's line. He never trademarked that, though. He always said, you know, that's something I probably should have done. Get up, get out of here, gone. Mr. Baseball. Looking spry as ever.
Gonna miss him on the road. He will not be joining the Brewers on this road trip. Travel schedule for Ueck somewhat limited these days. We're glad to have him at home, though.
No question. I'll be handing off as well.
That's right.
My job share partner, Matt LePay.
Bob Uecker and Brian Anderson, both.
Not for the same reasons. Swing and a miss by Hayward. I'll be breaking off to go do the NBA playoffs, and Matt LePay, who's here today and will be flying with the team, the great voice Matt LePay, will have it through mid-May.
Tag team.
It's a great tag team.
And you'll be back when? All-Star break?
Come on, man. That's wishful thinking on your part. I get it. No, I'll be back if all things work out as they should. May 18th in Minnesota.
Okay.
So I'll start that series with the Twins. And then Matt LePay will be headed to Punta Cana at that point, I think, for a little disconnect as Hayward draws the walk. And a base runner here with one away, and the pitcher coming up. I do want to thank Matt, sincerely want to thank Matt. I've got to head to Texas tomorrow. Had a death in the family, very close member of my family, my Aunt Jeanette, and Matt was kind enough to be able to change his schedule to do the games in St. Louis tomorrow and Tuesday so I could be at the funeral tomorrow. So I really appreciate that gesture from Matt.
Yeah, we hope for the best for you and your family, partner.
Thank you. Significant loss in our family.
Good that you can be back at home with your family. Your brother going to join you, right?
Yeah, my brother Mike is here scouting, so we're flying together tonight, and we'll be pallbearers tomorrow. And really appreciate Matt and all you guys for setting that up, that I could get with my family tomorrow. That's really kind. That's why I love our group here. We all get along. We all exchange information. We got a great team, great television team that we work with every day. It's a blessing. Two outs. Sacrifice bunt by Quintana puts Hayward at second. Top of the order now, Almora. Almora's third trip around, hitting leadoff today for the Cubs. He drew a walk in the third. Anderson has walked 2 and hit a batter, has 2 strikeouts. 2-0.
Got to throw strikes to this guy. You don't want to be dealing with Chris Bryant with a couple of men on. It's a good seat. Anybody hitting in front of Bryant, you figure you're going to get some fastballs to hit.
Almora drew a 2-out walk his last time up. That gave Bryant a swing in the inning with a man on. Anderson was able to get through that inning, but that's not something you want to redo here.
Right.
And if Almora reaches in this scenario, it would be 2 on for Bryant. 3-0 is the count. Hayward walked with 1 away. Chase trying to come all the way back. Pena asked for and is granted time. Right down the chute for strike 1.
They knew he's taking. He wants to get on first base to bring Bryant to the plate. He's swinging here.
Thursday night, Almora went 1 for 5, had an RBI triple, scored twice. And he shoots that one fair. That's going to bring in a run. In to score is Hayward. Almora into second with an RBI double. 2-0 Chicago.
Not a bad pitch by Chase, but even better hitting by Almora, taking that pitch and tuck it inside the first baseline. 3-1 fastball. Almora doubles to score the run. That's a good pitch. What are you going to do? That's just good hitting. Fastball off the edge. Almora goes right with it. Now Cubs up 2-0, and Chris Bryant coming to the plate.
That 1-out walk comes back to bite Chase Anderson. 2-0 Cubs. Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, talking a little strategy here. There is the potential to walk Bryant. You do have a base open at first. But remember, Zobrist homered off Anderson in the 4th inning.
And you still don't want Bryant to do any damage. He's done enough damage in this series. If you have a choice, no doubt what anybody would take, you'd rather go after Zobrist than this guy.
see how they play it. First mound visit for the Brewers. Keeping track of those this year. You get 6 of them in a regulation 9-inning game. Bryant's had some pretty good success against Anderson in his career. They're going to go after him, though. Starts him with a fastball.
He's surprised that they give him a whole lot to hit. Maybe get himself out, which he doesn't do very often.
Bryant has 6 career hits against Chase Anderson. 3 of them are homers. Oh for 2 today. Long fly ball out to center in the first. And then he hit a little soft line drive for an out in the 3rd inning. That ended the inning with a runner at first. Runner at second. A run is in. It's 2-0 Cubs. Now Mora, the speedy center fielder, at second base. 2-1 now. Three hits yesterday for Bryant. On base 5 times in yesterday's game. Homered. Bryant's home run yesterday came in the 6th inning. Tied the game. Hit it off Zach Davies, who pitched well for the Brewers yesterday.
Yeah, knocked the changeup out of the ballpark. Second deck and left.
It was the only run Davies gave up. He went 6 innings. He struck out 8. Good bounce back for Zach. 2-2 the count. Chase is going right after him. Shift is on. 3 infielders on the left side. 2-2, and it's in the air. Chase had him out in front again. Good curveball, and Santana makes the catch. So he challenged the big slugger, and he wins the battle. Cubs score, though. They've added another one to their lead. It's now 2-0. Insurance plays of the game. This came on a 2-pitch sequence as well, Ron.
I mean, flat-footed, sidearmed, and he threw a strike, and then he bounces out, puts his back to first base, spins around, and makes a good throw. So good throwing arm even when he's not able to get on top of it, and he's about as quick as it gets from the crouch out to field a bunt as anybody in the big leagues. You're seeing two very good catchers defensively in this series.
There is a shortage of talented catchers in the major leagues. Every team is searching. The Brewers feel good about their catching situation with Pena and Bandy, and then Stephen Vogt is on the comeback trail. He's dealing with a shoulder injury right now.
Yeah, both of these catchers very quick releases. I think Manny's a little bit more accurate than Contreras. Contreras might have just a touch stronger arm. Who knows? I'm not sure. Maybe they're about the same, but both of them outstanding.
I love your point about the throw to second. Not just the fact that he picked it, he had to come behind the batter, throws it flat-footed with something on it as Quintana strikes him out to start the 5th inning. Stephen Vogt trying to get his way back to the active roster. Sophia has been checking in on the Brewers catcher every now and then. What's the latest, Sophia?
Well, he did open the season on the disabled list with that right shoulder injury, but he took a significant step forward this week on the homestand. He's been able to start playing catch on the field, so that's been a good thing, being able to get through that pain-free, so they'll continue to ramp that up. We've seen him take BP on the field as well, so Vogt feels he's confident that he can still return in early May.
All right, Sophia, thank you. Vogt, an important presence for the Brewers. David Stearns, the general manager, made that point clear. The Brewers are going to have a tough decision when he comes back, though, because Jet Bandy is out of options. Can't send Bandy back to the minor leagues without making him available to the rest of the teams. He'll become available if that happens. And then Stephen Vogt, he's not a guy that's going to go to the minor league. So unless they carry 3 catchers, the Brewers are going to have to part with one of them.
Which they can't. They can't because they want to carry 8 relief pitchers. So you're going to expose somebody. My guess is if whoever they expose, not going to end up down in AAA.
Such a need for catching right now. So many teams are searching for catchers. VR, a little slow roller to second. Jose Quintana is locked in right now.
Yes, he is.
5 strikeouts through 4 2/3 innings. He's only given up 1 walk, and the Brewers have just 2 hits.
Pitching just like he did. We saw that complete game video of that complete game shutout that he had here last year. Just mixing everything in. I mean, pitches inside. He's got that 2-seamer away to right-handers, the curveball. Everything working for him.
2 outs for Arcia.
Brewers have seen some pretty good pitching on this homestand.
Have they ever? Starting with Carlos Martinez of the Cardinals, had back-to-back aces in Martinez and Lester, 2 opening day starters for their respective teams.
Yu Darvish yesterday, Kyle Hendricks, and now Quintana. Is there a better rotation in the National League than what the Cubs had?
I think the Nationals would argue they have the best rotation, but I think the Cubs make a strong case for it.
Yeah.
They've got Tyler Chatwood sitting in the 5 spot in their rotation. He's an excellent pitcher and a big pickup for the Cubs. Coming from the Rockies, getting Quintana last year.
You can argue that the Cubs have 3 #1 starters. #1 starters on a lot of different teams.
Lester with all that pedigree and all that success in the postseason. 3-time World Series champ. A little rollover ground ball again. Quintana's had the Brewers fooled all day long. Another 6-3 put out. It's a 3-up, 3-down inning. It's 2-0 Cubs as we go to the 6th.
designated hitter for the Biloxi Shuckers in Double-A. Last night went 3 for 3, a run and a walk. And look at the start for him in his first 3 games, 5 for 11, 2 runs scored and 2 walks. He was drafted by the Brewers in 2015.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good report from the Brewers minor league system. They're having a hard time getting going regularly with weather problems throughout the system. Minor league season started Thursday.
We saw Ahmed a little bit in spring training this year. Came in late in games. Showcased a lot of the Brewers' talent down in the minor leagues in spring this year.
They got a lot of talent to showcase. Ben Zobrist, a little flare, is going to fall. Continues to be a very tough out for Chase Anderson. Zobrist hit his 3rd career homer against Anderson in the 4th inning. And it's a leadoff single here in the 6th.
Well, he hit a fastball out of the ballpark, hit the foul pole in right, and then an off-speed pitch. That time able to dump one into right field.
Zobrist now a career batting average against Chase Anderson of .529 with 3 home runs. 2 for 3 today. Lead man on. Here comes Contreras now. Chase could use a ground ball double play here. The Brewers are set up to turn one. Wave and a miss. Big curveball from Chase. Good one. That's the pitch he retired Bryant with to end the 5th inning. No balls and a strike. Runner at first. Snap throw. Back in time, Zobrist.
Always have a little extra incentive when you're back there and you have the guy on the other team that has a terrific throwing arm, likes to throw the ball. You have a tendency to try and do the same, but Manny's always doing that, keeping guys close.
On the ground, got a chance to turn it. Arcia, VR, Aguilar, 6-4-3 double play. And on cue, Anderson gets that ground ball he needed. Wipes out the leadoff single.
And started him out with the curveball and gave him a little bit to think about. Gave him another one. Good pitch down in the zone. Easy double play for the Brewers. There you go. Chase continues to throw the ball well. He's only made a couple of mistakes. I would not consider that double that Almora hit to be a mistake. It was actually a fastball off the plate.
Good piece of hitting.
Yeah. Another home run maybe by Zobrist, and then the double by Contreras early in the game. Missed his spot.
Back to Chase Anderson. He'll make the play. Schwarber is out, and Anderson cleans it up quickly. Needed that. Quick 6th inning. Brewers now coming up. They trail by 2.
to positively impact the community. The foundation focuses on health, education, recreation, and basic needs. So BCF thanks all of you for all of your support during the season.
Sophia, thank you. Here we go to the bottom of the 6th inning and the end of the line for Chase Anderson. Craig Counsell will bring on a pinch hitter, Eric Sogard, to start the inning. He tries to drop a bunt down. It's in the air, and it is easy for Caratini. 1 pitch and 1 out for Quintana. Chase Anderson, 89 pitches, 6 innings, 2 runs, both earned. The home run to Zobrist, and then an RBI single by Almora with 2 outs. He pitched well. The offense not there for him.
Yeah,
today.
well, you do that every game, you're going to win a lot of games. So, yeah, Chase Anderson doing what he had to do today.
Let's see if the Brewers can get the bats going. If you're wondering why Counsell would use a left-handed pinch hitter against Quintana, that's pretty much all he has. Here's Kane, and that's going to get down a base hit. Lorenzo Cain jumping on that first pitch. He's got his 2nd hit of the day against Quintana.
Man, he's starting to come at him a little bit. I think Quintana trying to get one by him on the inside part of the plate, and Cain, he's waiting for it. Pops those hips open and rips it into left. So good speed at first. Tying run comes to the plate. You kind of get a sense that the Brewers need to go deep here, get something going.
Domingo Santana now.
It becomes very difficult when a guy is throwing the baseball the way Quintana is to stack hits together. Make a mistake, knock one out of here.
By the way, that hit by Cain, his 2nd of the day, raises his career batting average against Quintana to .288. And no players faced him more than Lorenzo Cain. So familiarity may be paying off.
66 at bats for Lorenzo Cain against Quintana.
Two and 0 the count. Santana at the plate representing the tying run. The Brewers looking for a quick strike here against this left-hander. A strike. Santana didn't like that call. Domingo has tremendous power to center field and right field. That was in there.
Yep.
Good pitch. Looks like they want to come inside now. And a high fastball misses. And now Santana in the driver's seat, 3-1. Quintana hasn't made many mistakes today. Santana is looking for one right now. Oh, he had one to hit.
Yes,
Fouls
he
it
did.
back.
Yep, 90 miles an hour.
Santana hit 30 homers last year. Breakout year for him at the plate. Full count. A check on Cain.
Have to get a jump on Quintana. Decent move at first base. I doubt Cain's going to be running. Not with Ryan Braun coming up.
Santana a little late, fouls it away. Santana now 26 years of age. Career year last year with the 30 home runs. He led the Brewers in batting average as well. He's looking for his first homer of the season. He's up there battling with 2 strikes. And another check on Cain. Santana garnered a lot of trade interest this offseason. His name kept surfacing in the trade rumors. But he is very happy to be in a Brewer uniform. He loves it here. And he loves hitting at Miller Park. Brewers got him from the Astros. And there's ball 4.
That's a good eye.
With 1 out, a single and a walk, has 2 on for the Brewers, and their best threat of the day against Quintana with Braun coming up. Tuesday, highlight of the homestand. Back-to-back homers from Yelich and Braun. Braun's was a game winner, his 4th career walk-off homer on the Powerball count, his first since 2011. What a moment here for the Brewers against the Cardinals. And now Braun stands up there with a chance to create another moment here at Miller Park. Two on, one out. Braun is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out.
And Ryan's bread and butter, that fastball outer half up in the zone a little bit. Good power to right center.
Braun's always had great numbers against left-handed pitching. There's a strike. Ryan still sitting with 6 RBIs. He is 5 away from 1,000 in his career. 5 of those 6 RBIs on the season came in one game in San Diego last Friday. 1-1 pitch inside. 2 balls and a strike. Right now, Braun is 2nd in franchise history in runs batted in. Robin Yount is the franchise leader, 1,406 RBIs. Braun's going to have to go a few more years to get that mark. Two balls and a strike. And Braun drives one to right. Hayward playing deep is right there, tagging his cane.
That's exactly what Ryan Braun was looking for. He hit it hard, but Hayward playing deep made that one look easy. Only frustrating at bat for Ryan. He got the pitch he wanted, hit it right on the barrel, but right at Hayward. And we talk about it. He likes that pitch out over the plate. He hits it hard, but Hayward playing deep barely has to move for it.
Hayward basically started from that position, almost lost it in the ribbon board. He was about 2 steps off the warning track in deep right field. So that'll bring Aguilar to the plate. And now a quick visit to the mound. Jim Hickey, the first-year Cubs pitching coach, coming to Chicago from Tampa Bay. 1st and 3rd for the Brewers. 2 outs now. Best opportunity to score the Brewers have had today. And it's going to take a big hit here by Jesus Aguilar.
Yeah, that tells you what the Cubs think about Aguilar up at the plate. They want to make sure that they're going to do the right thing and make the right pitch. Be careful. Big power. You can give the Brewers a lead very quickly.
Aguilar last year hit 16 home runs. He was great off the bench. Gets a start here today, and his 3rd at bat with runners at the corners. 3rd plate appearance, I should say. He walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Big spot, anxious crowd. Quiet in here. There's a strike. 1-1. Quintana pitching in his 6th inning. He's only given up 3 hits. It's only the 2nd time today that the Brewers, make it the 3rd time the Brewers have had a runner in scoring position. And the 1st time in this game they've had multiple runners on base. The numbers against lefties for Aguilar. Excellent against southpaws. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, being pretty careful with Aguilar, right? That change up down. Aguilar with the count in his favor, 2-1. He's looking for a pitch.
Hernan Perez due next. A struggling hitter on deck. See how aggressive Quintana wants to be with Aguilar. Kane and Santana on the bags. Aguilar pulls one foul, and it's 2-2 now.
Yeah, you can't be too careful with Aguilar. You don't want to walk him if you're the Cubs and then bring the tying run to second base. It's kind of one of those, don't give him anything to hit, but don't walk him.
Two and two now. And Aguilar strikes out. Got him on the slow curve. Brewers come up empty. Had a big chance. Braun hit a line drive bullet, but for an out. Quintana comes right back with a K. It is built for baseball. It's presented by T-Mobile, the best network for streaming baseball, because your stadium should be where you make it. Miller Park, Milwaukee. Beautiful Miller Park on a cold Sunday afternoon in early April. And Taylor Williams going to be thrown right into the fire. He just arrived here from AAA. And one of the more impressive young prospects the Brewers have gets his first taste of the big leagues in 2018.
Yeah, we saw him last year, 5 appearances, good numbers. He did face the Cubs last year. Spent his season in Double-A Biloxi. He was 0-2 in 14 starts, 22 games. Had a pretty good spring, almost made the team out of spring training.
Last year, Williams got in 5 games, only gave up 1 earned run in those 5 games. An electric arm. He's coming out of the box throwing in the upper 90s, and he's quickly ahead of Addison Russell at 0-2. Williams played his college ball at Kent State. Drafted in the 4th round of 2013. Missed 2 full years. He had an elbow injury. Tried to rehab that without surgery. That was the 15 season. Came back, still had problems, and then had to have the Tommy John procedure. That knocked him out all of 16. So last year was his comeback year. And this year the Brewers are very hopeful that he can emerge as one of the elite relievers they have in their bullpen.
Yeah, electric stuff. I mean, if he gets the slider anywhere close with 2 strikes, he's going to get some strikeouts. He's only 26.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And he got him. Russell strikes out. For more on Taylor Williams and his wild travels to get to the big leagues, let's check in with Sophia.
Well, just like J.J. Hoover, who was recalled yesterday, Taylor Williams was one of those final cuts and tough decisions for Craig Counsell and David Stearns for the opening day roster. But he said when he went down to AAA, he said the Brewers preach that mentality of you have to be ready to get that call at any time. And so you put that in your mindset, he said, to prepare every day as if you are in the major leagues and you have to pitch at that level in order to come back here. So he said he went down with a positive mindset, and he's feeling pretty good right now because he had a 3:30 wake up to get here from Omaha. But he said, look, if you're not excited to pitch against the Cubs, then you probably don't belong here.
Yeah, those 3:30 wake up calls are A-OK when you're going up to the big leagues. They hurt a little when you've got to go back down, but
yeah,
Williams is hoping to be here to stay.
Most guys take their 3 days to get back to the minor leagues from the big leagues. Just hang out for a little bit, collect your thoughts. But yeah, he did had a good spring this year.
Born in Vancouver, Washington. Played his high school ball in the Pacific Northwest. Little half swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Caratini. Williams debuted last year was September 6th. A milestone for him in his career, not just to put on a big league uniform, but to get through all of those injuries, the long, hard road. That is an isolated road, too, when you're coming back from Tommy John surgery. Two balls and 2 strikes. Caratini, a little jam shot. That's going to fall, a base hit. This guy can hit.
Yeah.
He's got a nice swing.
That was 95 in on his hands, and he muscles it out there into center field. Caratini had a big hit yesterday in the 9th inning. Infield hit on a fastball in. And does the same this time. Pulls the hands in. Doesn't get much of it, but able to fight it off into center.
He has proven to be a tough out. 1 out of 3 today, getting his 3rd straight start at first base for Rizzo. So now it's Hayward. Hayward walked and scored in the 5th. That was the 2nd run for the Cubs. Driven in by Almora, who had a 2-out RBI base hit down the right field line.
Manny P is just thinking about going out there. Williams overthrown a little bit, just trying to throw the ball too hard. And when you do that, try to get a little extra, you actually lose velocity.
Probably was an automatic trip to the mound last year. This year, you have to think about it a little more. Only getting the 6 mound visits through a game. Hayward gets jammed. Long run for Arcia. Arcia makes, oh, it popped out of his glove. A great effort, but Arcia couldn't rein it in. And let's hope he is not hurt. Boy, he went a long way. Almost made a spectacular catch. Impact to the ground, knocked it out of his glove, though.
Yeah, 2 knuckle busters, and the Cubs did this the entire 9th inning yesterday. And look at Arcia, how far he goes. Yeah, he had it in the glove. He hit the ground and popped out. That was good base running by Caratini to be into second base easily. Ryan Braun was right there quickly.
They caught it a bit of a snow cone, and as soon as he hit the ground, the ball ejected from his glove.
Heck of an effort. Had a long way to go.
So 2 on with 1 out. Joe Maddon's going to take a chance to try to put this one away. Tommy La Stella, his best pinch hitter, is on, ending the day of Jose Quintana. 6 shutout innings. Quintana's pitch count was in great shape, too. He could have certainly continued.
Well,
but Maddon sensing a chance. Snap throw to second.
Good thing that Arcia wasn't at the bag. Little communication mix up there between the catcher and shortstop.
Two on, 1 out. Williams in his first big league inning of the season. On the ground. Oh, eats up Aguilar. And another run's going to score. Hayward will stop at third. Brewers had a chance to turn an inning-ending double play there, but it gets by Aguilar. And the defensive woes continue for Milwaukee.
Yeah, just not making the plays. Not making the plays defensively and costing the Brewers big on this homestand.
That one hurts.
Ball hit hard, but certainly a ball that Aguilar's got to be able to handle. And you're right, that might have been a double play to end the inning. And now the Cubs set up here in the 7th, 2nd and 3rd, a run already in, 3-0. Brewers just cannot tighten up the defense.
Aguilar, a guy who doesn't have a lot of range, but he usually makes plays on ground balls he can get to. Not that time, though. It's costly.
Yeah, didn't have to move. It was right at him.
3-0.
They have not made a decision on the scoring, but that's certainly a ball that Aguilar's got to handle.
Yeah, no question. Top of the order now. That'll be an E3 on Aguilar officially, just posted. Brewers have gone 7 straight games now, committing at least 1 error. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Infield in. Key hitter now for Williams. 3-0 will be tough enough to come back from. Trying to keep it that way. Squeeze is on. Safety squeeze, and Almora pulled the bat back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cubs successfully pulled off one of those yesterday with John Lester as a pinch hitter. Making sure you put the ball down, then take off. Yesterday was with the bases loaded.
Lester actually pinch hit. Cubs had no position players left. So Lester pinch hit for a relief pitcher. Strop dropped down a squeeze bunt. Ball and 2 strikes. No threat of the squeeze now with 2 strikes. Cubs got a run on a Zobrist homer in the 4th. Almora drove in a run with a 2-out double in the 5th. And now they've scored another one on an error by Aguilar. Almora is 1 for 2 with a walk and a double in the leadoff spot today. 2nd time for Joe Madden. 2-2 the count. Full count now.
And slider by Williams, didn't miss by much.
And now the payoff. Got him. Fastball blew him away. Hit his spot. Outside corner. He shook off a couple of offerings from Pena to get to that fastball. And he gets his 2nd strikeout.
Obvious fastball situation. The catcher will have the pitcher shake off a little bit. And the pitch before that, the slider was a closer to being a strike. That went off the plate, and Almora, a strikeout victim. He knew it. He knew he swung at ball 4.
So Chris Bryant now. There is a base open at first, but Williams is going to challenge Bryant, who was 0 for 3 today. This will be a good test for the young pitcher. Bryant late fouls it away. A run is in on 2 hits and an error. No balls and a strike. Bryant now down 0-2.
Manny Pena not sure that was a foul ball. He chased it down, but Field and Colbert said it was a foul tip. Manny saying, you sure?
You got to use your ears as much as your eyes in those situations.
When in doubt, go get it.
Well, let's see what they go with here against Bryant. No balls, 2 strikes. Back inside and ring the bell. Taylor Williams challenging the big slugger. Back-to-back strikeouts, no further damage. Cubs add a run though on an error, and it's now 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. And now we turn it over to Rob Edwards. Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America.
Bless America, led by Bob Kozlowski from the Brewers Guest Services.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Justin Wilson, the new pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Jose Quintana was terrific today. 6 shutout innings. Only 87 pitches. Cubs score an unearned run in the top of the 7th. They lead 3-0 as Wilson makes his 5th appearance. Hernan Perez leads off.
Yeah, hard throwing lefty. We saw him a couple of days ago. He got the first 2 outs that the guys that he faced, and then he couldn't find plate. He walked 3 consecutive batters, was taken out. When he throws strikes, he can be tough.
Well, that inning didn't go as Taylor Williams had hoped, but I tell you, Rock, there is a lot to like with that kid. He struck out 3 Cubs in the 7th inning. Did give up a couple of hits. Both of those were little jam shot base hits, and then the costly error that led to the run. And how about Williams just squaring up with Chris Bryant, challenging him, striking him out on 3 pitches.
Yeah, challenging him inside with 2 strikes. Good stuff. Mid to upper 90s. Not afraid to throw strikes.
Now the Brewers are glad to get rid of Jose Quintana. The early matchup in the schedule might have been the only reason to take him out. He was cruising along with 6 shutout, only 87 pitches. But Madden choosing the pinch hitter.
I think you're right about Joe Madden wanting to go for the knockout punch that inning. Go to the pinch hitter, LaStella. He did drive in a run, although it was an error. Yeah, Brewers fortunate they only gave up 1 that inning.
Cubs had him at 2nd and 3rd with the top of the order coming up. And then the back-to-back strikeouts. Perez into center field. Routine for Almora. Out number 1.
Well, you put your baseball expertise to the test by downloading Beat the Streak. Free for your smartphone or tablet. Pick a player to get a hit every day, and if you build a streak of 57 games, you'll take home a whopping $5.6 million.
A little turbulence there on the takeoff, but you settled it nicely. Found some smooth air.
Yeah, I did. Yep. I had to back up, take my time. You know, sometimes when a young player gets a little wrapped up in the environment,
right.
You got to take a step back.
We're all the same here. Yes.
Expertise. I mean, that's right up there with rivalry for me.
Next time you're going to read that before you proofread that before you actually do it on the air.
Take out the big words.
You know what? You got Matt LePay coming in though. He's pro at all those, so you can hand it over.
You know, you do a heck of a job, but you know, there's nobody that reads a promo like LePay.
No doubt about that. Professional promo reader. One ball, 1 strike to count on the Brewer catcher, Manny Pena. 2-1 now. Justin Wilson had it, then lost it last time we saw him. Lost it quickly. And a power arm left-hander. Pena sends one deep to left. That is deep enough, but it is hooked foul. Long, loud strike off the bat of Pena.
Took something off, up and in, and Manny gave it a ride. Couldn't keep it fair. Yep. That ball was launched.
Yeah, it hit that up and over the foul pole. Two the count now to Pena. He's 0 for 2 today. The Brewers have just 3 hits today. Little flare. Caratini comes up short. Good effort by the Cubs first baseman. Count stays at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brewers had a great chance last inning. 2 on, 1 out. Braun at the plate. Ryan hit a rope to right. Jason Hayward was playing about a step or 2 in front of the track. Braun hit it right at him. 2-2. Down he goes. Strikeout for Wilson. 2 up, 2 down. That'll bring up Jonathan Villar. He's had the only extra base hit for the Brewers today at the plate, presented by Wendy's. A double in the 3rd inning. That was actually a fly ball that Jason Hayward would probably tell you he should have caught. He misjudged it, overran it.
Never got a glove on it, did he?
It bounced 3 feet behind him on the warning track. A rare misplay by Hayward. We've seen 2 of them in the last 2 days.
Yeah, I think both of them. I think he's kind of fooled by the width of the Brewers warning track. Of course, he's played here quite a bit. But yesterday, I think he jumped a little early on that extra base hit by the Brewers out in right field, and was kind of fooled by the warning track here today.
It's the biggest warning track in baseball. Players call it. I remember Mike Cameron used to tell us the philosophy on this warning track. So that warning track right there is called a 5-stepper by the players, meaning it takes 5 steps before you jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leap. Most warning tracks are 3-steppers, apparently, according to Mike Cameron.
That's what they say anyway, right?
Jump on the 3rd step. 1, 2, 3 jump. This one, a 5-stepper. And you think about yesterday, Hayward jumped on the 3rd step.
Yeah.
Which is what most outfielders do when they feel the difference in the surface under their feet.
But again, I mean, he's played here quite a bit.
Yeah, he should know.
Shouldn't be a surprise to him.
All his career in the National League. Braves, Cardinals, and then the Cubs. VR strikes out, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down for Wilson. 2 punch-outs. To the 8th we go. It is 3-0 Cubs.
In Fall Creek, as they call the Brewers, by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Fall Creek, just a little southeast of Eau Claire.
Well, we welcome them all watching in today. 3-0 Brewers trying to turn it around here, and another guy coming up from the Brewers minor league system, Adrian Hauser. And another surgically repaired pitching elbow, who is now healthy again, and a very bright future ahead of him.
And we saw him a couple of games in 2015. He made a couple of appearances, did not allow a run. A big dude, throws hard.
Facing Ben Zobrist to start it. Travis Shaw has entered the game at 3rd base. And that moves Hernan Perez to 2nd. VR is out, so Council trying to get a couple of innings here out of Hauser. Hauser is technically the long man in the bullpen. Brewers ideally would like Adrian Hauser to stretch out to be a starter in the minor leagues. So you don't know what his tenure in the major leagues will be, but he is one to watch. He was one of the 4 that came to the Brewers from the Astros in that Carlos Gomez, Mike Fiers deal.
Not a bad fastball right there, 95.
He went to the fall league last year, did Hauser, and lit it up. He was throwing in the upper 90s, hit 99 consistently in the Arizona Fall League. Last year was his comeback year from Tommy John surgery. Adrian Hauser, Josh Hader, Domingo Santana, and Brett Phillips. With that Tommy John surgery in the middle of the summer 2 years ago. Look at those numbers when he came back last year. 1.02 ERA. And then he carried that over into the fall league. Talked to a lot of scouts who were working that fall league. I got a lot of messages in one afternoon saying, who is Adrian Hauser and where did he come from?
Open up some eyes.
They must have put a hot ligament in that elbow or tendon, because he came back throwing very hard. He retires Zobrist for the first out. Let's check in with Sophia. She's got more on young Adrian Hauser.
Well, as you guys mentioned, another Tommy John guy underwent that in 2016. We last saw him in 2015, and he said it can absolutely feel like a really long ways away. When you're going through that rehab process, it typically takes a year to even think about getting back to the major league level. So he said he was certainly very excited to get this opportunity. It came a little bit earlier than he was expecting. With the injury to Corey Knebel, they brought him in primarily for the length, and Craig Counsell said even though it is short notice and maybe he wasn't anticipating this move coming at this point in the season, he said he certainly is going to factor into this bullpen, whether it be length, coverage, and obviously he said the job for him just to get hitters out.
It's going to be fun to watch. I'll tell you, the Brewers minor league system is impressive. And some guys that are question marks like Williams and Hauser who are coming back from injuries. I mean, they've kind of surfaced at the top of a lot of these lists. Got to have pitching and got to have talent.
He's got a big arsenal. He throws them all. They're all pretty good. Fastball, curve, cutter. Got a slider to go with all that. And
there's still that acclimation process, though, as much as everybody wants to get into the fight quickly, and that can still happen. A lot of these players the Brewers are going to be relying on have yet to experience any length of time here in the major leagues. There's a strike to Contreras. He thought he had ball 4.
very quick to flip that bat, maybe trying to convince the umpire. We saw that yesterday. You know, if he's back behind home plate, he wants that called. Good job of framing by Manny Pena.
Full count now to Contreras. Steps out. They give him time.
They did, yeah.
Home plate umpire Fielding Cobra definitely granted the timeout, but he's hearing it from that Brewer dugout right now.
That was a ball. Good thing he gave him time.
3-2. Shot foul.
And Contreras wasn't sure. He backed out, then went right back in just in case it was a pitch.
Hauser likes to work quickly. 3-2. Got another fastball by him. I'm sure it was difficult for Hauser. He's injured. He's trying to come back. He's watching some of these players that he came in the trade with emerge as big leaguers. Santana first, then Hader last year, and then Brett Phillips, and he was kind of the last one. How about that velocity in this at bat? He is just pouring them in.
Just one off speed pitch, everything fastballs.
Contreras hasn't been able to turn on him. There's another fastball in on his hands at 96. Count remains at 3-2. Pitch number 10 coming to Contreras. And all of them 95 or better. Into center, hit hard. Kane looking up. It's off the wall, takes a huge bounce Contreras can run. He's on his way to third. Got to hustle this in now. Contreras will hold at third base. It's a triple. On the 10th pitch of the at-bat, Contreras finally squares up a fastball.
Yeah, one fastball after another, and he just kept getting more comfortable with that pitch. Got one up and away, and he drove it in that direction. Hit it hard, and watch the angle of the wall, and it's going to roll into center field. All the way around to third base. He was thinking about 4.
Second hit of the day for Contreras, a double and a triple. And the Cubs are threatening again. It's 3-0 Chicago. Runner at third. Here comes Schwarber now. Infield end for the Brewers. Schwarber is 0 for 3. 0 for his last 13. Does have a couple of home runs this season. Oh, and 2 the count. Good block by Pena.
And another changeup. He threw one to Contreras. Put it in the same spot. Not a bad pitch. You don't want to leave it up in the zone, especially when you're throwing a fastball by Schwarber.
Got him. Powered him up with a fastball. Schwarber is out. A strikeout for Hauser. That's his first career major league strikeout. And here comes Russell. He's got one in the books. His first strikeout victim, Kyle Schwarber.
Fastball up, out over the plate. And Schwarber swinging through fastballs the entire series.
Three years after Hauser made his major league debut. Matter of fact, his last game in the big leagues, only his second game, was against the Cubs, October 2nd of 2015. And the long road back. Oh, nice catch. Reached out and picked it. Russell lines out. Williams and Hauser shine. Brewers are getting pretty good pitching today. See if their bats can pick them up. Nice catch. Good to see you back in the big leagues, Adrian Hauser.
game. Both starting pitchers turning in a quality outing.
Yeah, you got to like the way Chase Anderson pitched today. If you wanted to get a quality start, he gave that to you. Quintana just picked up right where he left off last September. 6 shutout innings.
Yeah, he has been phenomenal here at Miller Park. More to that coming up on our Brewers Live post-game report presented by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. We'll talk about Anderson. We'll talk about Quintana. And as always, we're here for manager Craig Counsell. For now, let's send it back up to BA and Rock for the remainder of the game.
All right, thank you, Dario and Augie. And there is Carl Edwards Jr. on to pitch in a 3-0 Cub lead. Arcia will lead off. Joe Madden has made a couple of changes here as Edwards appears in his 5th game. He's been dominant this year. Cubs bullpen has been dominant this year.
Yeah, 3rd appearance in this 4-game series for Edwards.
Arcia sends one high in the air to left center. That is Amora calling on Zobrist for out number 1. Javi Baez entered the game at second base. That's why Zobrist is out in left field now. Schwarber is out. And here is Travis Shaw batting for the first time. Shaw hitting in the 9th spot in the order. Came in last inning on the double switch. And Shaw in the air, right field, playable for Hayward. Got it on the label and 2 quick outs. Well, Rock and I want to send our best to our good pal Kayla Schaefer. She's been working here for 4 years. Game day operations, helping us out here in the booth with a lot of our VIP visits. Kayla's fantastic, and she is taking her talents to Los Angeles to work for the Los Angeles Dodgers. She got a great opportunity with the Dodgers, so she's going to remain in Major League Baseball, and we're going to miss her. So thanks for all the great work, Kayla.
Wore a lot of hats around the ballpark, and her biggest responsibility was babysitting you and I.
She did a great job at that. We have a lot of people in that category, actually.
Yep.
So congratulations to Kayla on a great opportunity, and appreciate the 4 years of hard work here with the Brewers. She's excellent. She'll do a great job in LA. Lorenzo Cain with a big swing. It's 1-1. Cain with a couple of hits here today. 2 out of 3. 3 for 8 with a sacrifice fly since he snapped that 0 for 16 stretch at the plate. He's glad to get that behind him. Cubs with the stingiest bullpen in the National League. Came in with an ERA of 1.02. Gave up just 4 earned runs in 35 1/3 innings this season. And Cain is a strikeout victim. Brewers go quietly in the 8th. 3-0 Cubs as we go to the 9th at Miller Park.
Saturday, April 21st. Learn more at brewers.com/theme nights.
Rumor is they use your image from your playing days as the model for this bobblehead.
It's a good idea. Yep.
Captain America.
Get mistaken for him quite a bit.
Square jaw. Here we go to the 9th. Hauser continues, trying to give the Brewers the last 2 innings here. See if they can find a little magic in the bottom of the 9th inning. Caratini leads off for Chicago. Zobrist with a home run in the 4th. RBI double by Almora in the 5th, and then an unearned run scoring on an RBI by La Stella. One is an E3, but an RBI for La Stella. That was in the 7th inning. 3-0 Cubs. They've out-hit the Brewers 7-3. Brewers just haven't been able to get anything going offensively. Little half swing, and he goes, and Hauser strikes out Caratini.
Yeah, got him on a breaking pitch that time. Thick curveball. So he's shown everything he's got. You know, the fastball, changeup, slider, curveball so far in this game. Yep, down in the dirt. He can't hold up.
Adrian Hauser from Locust Grove, Oklahoma. 2nd round draft pick by the Astros in 2011. Hayward in the air. Long run for Braun. He's got time to run under it, and there is out number 2. 4 in a row retired by Hauser. Tomorrow night, Brewers Cardinals. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Miles Michaelis, who picked up his first win here at Miller Park, beat the Brewers. Jhoulys Chacín will start for the Brewers tomorrow.
Chacín is struggling his first 2 appearances for Milwaukee.
Javier Baez takes a strike. So Brewers Cardinals, another road trip starting for Milwaukee. They'll go to St. Louis, then New York to play the Mets. Quickly 0-2 on Baez. First at bat for Baez. One ball, 2 strikes. Got him. Well, the scoreboard is not where the Brewers wanted, but there is a whole lot to like with what we've seen today out of Taylor Williams and Adrian Hauser. 3-0, bottom of the 9th. Last call for the Brewers at Miller Park, final game of the homestand. Brewers drop 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals, in danger of dropping 3 out of 4 to the Cubs. Down 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. And Brandon Morrow, the Chicago Cubs' new closer, is back on the mound for a second consecutive game.
Yeah, he finished the game yesterday. A scoreless 9th inning. He did give up a hit to Travis Shaw, but that was it. 1 for 1 in save opportunities, coming in with another 3-run lead.
Adrian Hauser goes 2 scoreless with 3 strikeouts, giving up 1 hit. He and Williams go the final 3 innings. And now we'll see if the Brewer bats can come alive here in their last at-bat of the day in regulation. Santana 0 for 2 of the walk here today. Brewers have not had a base runner since Santana's walk in the 6th inning. Cubs pitching has retired 9 straight, 6 in a row by the bullpen. Wilson and Edwards, and now Morrow in the 9th. Down the line, backhanded by Bryant. Good play. And the throw, he's got him. Looked like it pulled Caratini off, but he gets back. Bryant has had his throwing troubles early in the year. Pat Murphy, the bench coach of the Brewers, wants to get another look at this.
Yeah, nice backhand pickup. The easy part of the play is the throw. Off the bag, does he get it back? Looked like he might have got the bag before Santana got there. We'll see.
Tell you, Santana pulled up there at the end. Got to run through it.
Craig Counsell wants the umpires to take a look. Why not?
It's definitely off the bag, but I think he may have been able to get back to the base.
Good gamble to take. Why not? Got nothing to lose.
Got to lay a little bit out on Santana, though. I think he thought the play was over and kind of pulled up on his way through the base. Might have cost him. Don't know if there's enough there to overturn it, and that's a quick challenge and a review that will remain as an out call. Santana retired on a 5-3 putout.
Yeah, he did kind of pull up right at the end there. It was close. Call was confirmed.
So Ryan Braun with 1 out. Brewers know they're going to have to tighten up some things. They're going to have a run this year. Defensively, those hustle plays, those little things that all add up. Winning teams do it. We saw VR pull up on a fly ball to right. Ended up with a double on the play, but certainly should have been at third base.
Yeah, could have scored later in the inning.
Braun takes a strike. 0-2. Morrow just pumping him in. He's thrown 6 pitches, 5 of them for strikes. Morrow is a reclamation project himself. Started the year last year in AAA with the Dodgers. Ended up as one of the best relievers in the game, non-closing relievers. He's got a chance to close now. It was 1 year in Seattle early in his career when he went into the closer's role, saved 12 games. Then he became a starter. Ended up with the Blue Jays. This is his first real chance to be a closer, though. Those numbers wouldn't indicate a guy who gets this kind of chance this late in his career, but he's found something in the last season. He's always been a hard thrower.
Hard thrower with a good slider. We saw that slider yesterday. Throws strikes, which is mandatory for anybody coming out of the bullpen.
Just missed. 3-2 now. Braun trying to fight his way on. The Brewers need base runners.
Tough pitch to take right there. Close.
Three and two. And Braun fouls it off his helmet. Hit the ground, came right up and hit him in the helmet. Says he's all right. Last year, Dave Roberts of the Dodgers, the manager, never hesitated to use Morrow in multiple inning outings. One of the reasons why Morrow ended up 6-0 last year with a record. Braun on the ground to short. 2 outs. Brewers are now in danger of being shut out for the 3rd time on this homestand.
Yep, 3 hits today. They had 4 hits yesterday. So the offense kind of disappeared last couple of days.
Was shut out in back-to-back games. Final game of the Cardinals series, and then first game of the Cubs series here Thursday. Aguilar in the air, and this should do it. A combined 3-hit shutout for the Cubs. 3-0 is the final score. Jose Quintana wins for the first time this year. Morrow picks up back-to-back saves. Chase Anderson, a tough luck loser, going 6 innings, only allowing the 2 runs. Cubs take 3 out of 4 from Milwaukee. Brewers hit the road. They'll head to St. Louis, starting a road trip tomorrow night. Dario Melendez standing by. It's time for Brewers Live. Take it away, Dario.
Thanks, BA. Well, as you just heard,